distance of my journey is complete.
Hello, welcome to Airing It Out. I'm Josh.
And I'm Jonas.
This is Jerry. That was a struggle. This is Jerry. This is not Jerry. This is Jerry.
I'm Jerry. I'm Jerry today.
And I think we're going to start off. First of all, we did chuck it at the end of, I think, our last podcast.
Yes.
But our film is delayed.
It is delayed.
Yes.
So if you've been wondering, it is not May anymore, and the film isn't out yet, but it is still coming.
Yes, and if you're new to the channel, you have no context of that, so Jonas and I made a movie.
Yeah, exactly.
About homelessness in Glasgow and the world in general, I suppose. It's a very universal topic.
It is a very universal topic.
But yeah, it was due to come out in mid-May on Amazon Prime, but obviously Corona stuff, and we kind of got hit by that a little bit, and yes, we want to come out in its best possible version, so we've delayed it. Yeah, and we're looking like it will be into July.
Yeah, so it's plan. The new plan is for it to be done by the end of this month, June, and then we obviously need a period of time to get it set for all the platforms that we want to.
So like the film actually done, and then we need to make it good for release.
Exactly. And obviously there's always a promotional period because we do want you guys to catch it when it gets out. We're definitely gonna be airing it out on all our social media. So no worries about not catching it. You will definitely hear about this.
Yes, but if you've been wondering why we've been a bit media silent, it's because we have been in a kind of limbo and we've not really known what's been going on. So now we know it'll be a while.
And now you know.
Now you know too.
But
easy.
It's like Christmas. You can look forward to it for longer.
Yeah.
Which is maybe
good.
Maybe good.
We missed that whole everyone's lockdown period of rain.
Yeah.
But hey ho.
That is definitely sad for us. I think that, but
yeah, it is interesting because we've noticed as well. Like on our viewership numbers on YouTube have gone down since it's hit near 25-30 degrees in Britain and lockdown's over. It makes sense.
It makes so much sense.
But if you're here watching this, thank you. Props to your dedication.
No, but like if you think about it, it's with every cinema release, they always like, fingers crossed, opening weekend it rains, and people are like, what else can we do? Go watch a movie, obviously.
But yes, why like the summer blockbuster, there's always like one or two, but that's it. Yeah. That's why I never understand, like nothing comes out in like February. Like that's a really low period so like advertising drops off the cliff, so not many companies want to advertise then because everyone's spent money in New Year sales and Boxing Day sales and for Christmas. So that's kind of low. Movies don't tend to come out, video games don't come out, nothing really happens, but I never get why. I'm like,
well, if it's February, it's usually Valentine's Day, like romance related movies. No, I think
what Jerry's for.
I think it definitely has to do with like the production periods throughout the year because obviously it always comes with funding, and the funding comes or like is released at this
quarter.
Start of the year usually, so you know what kind of budget you have at the
I would have guessed
beginning
it'd
of
be
the
a
year.
financial quarter, which starts in April.
Yeah, I think it's.
So I wonder if it's like the tail end though. So just there's nothing getting wrapped up. Then when April starts, that's when businesses will have done all their budgeting.
Yeah. No, I think it's like governmental funding. They do it yearly, and so like you get January and February where all that comes out, and you know whether or not you can make the film, and then you make it over summer because you also want less days where it rains. You hardly ever have natural rain in films, and therefore you shoot during summer, and it's usually a year turnaround for cinema at least. So you get lots of films that are done.
We're over a year
early
now.
Summer.
We're gonna be nearly a year and a half.
Yeah, but that's because we just don't have.
Oh, we had other stuff on as well.
Yeah, we have uni on, we have life on, and aren't full-time filmmakers yet.
Not yet, but it'll come.
Keep you posted on that for sure. No, but I think it's very interesting. I have the comparison of both Vicky films. And the second one definitely suffered from a glorious in terms of it came out in was it November?
Okay.
Early November, but it was like a glorious weekend in terms of sunny weather, and no one was like, oh yes, I'll stay inside to watch a movie.
Summer,
and so the difference between the opening weekend and the following weekend was an increase of 70% in viewership.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's insane.
So it's like you definitely missed out on that first weekend, and then the second weekend it wasn't good weather anymore, so people started to go, but like you've already lost so many people.
Yeah, I think it was around the release of Star Wars Episode 9, actually. I was reading a thing and it was about how like it had a really bad drop-off, so the difference between like first weekend, second weekend, third weekend was huge. I mean, obviously the film was terrible. But they were kind of looking at it like it's not actually a mark of failure, because like what these tend to be like big event movies, so like Avengers and heck Avatar when you go back, and Titanic, and then like Star Wars obviously, but these like big event films people will want to see as soon as possible to avoid spoilers. So like your drop off can be something like 60% up to the next weekend, you know, even higher than that, but then it's like that's because everyone's already seen it, so it doesn't matter, you've still made billions. So it's like that kind of give and take, and it's quite an interesting article because it was really negative until the very end where they kind of acknowledged, now while this could be a failure, this film was very financially profitable.
No, I guess that's why, and that's definitely a development of cinema itself to be more event based, and therefore all the advertisement promotion goes to that single opening. It's like it's out now.
I feel
everyone
really
has to
bad
see it
for
now.
Bond 25 actually.
Because
even heck, I'm not a huge fan. I think I like Casino Royale. That's it of the new Bond films. But I think Quantum of Solace is fine. Like if you watch it back, it's actually an okay movie. The editing's terrible, but in terms of considering that was made during the writer's strike, it was basically written by the director and Daniel Craig, just kind of scrapping something together. Like it's an alright film, and it's an alright follow up to Casino Royale directly, which is the first Bond film to ever be a true sequel. And not just like a kind of another adventure. But like Casino Royale is arguably the best Bond film and one of the best spy films ever made, for sure.
I think it's really good, yeah.
I mean, it's definitely my favorite, and I know a lot of people share that idea. So to follow up on that with a alright 7 out of 10 action film is like, okay, cool.
I mean, it's a shame.
Yeah, Spectre is obviously terrible, and I have my own personal problems with Skyfall. But I was like watching this for No Time to Die. I was like, you know what? I'm okay with this. This looks
okay.
This looks alright. And then the trailers came out, and I was kind of like, yeah, I think I'll go watch this. This looks fun.
Is this a trailer you've actually seen then?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do watch them.
Josh doesn't watch a lot of trailers because he doesn't want any spoilers, and especially when it comes to comedy, he's afraid that
if the best jokes in the trailer, and sometimes like, what was it? It's Game of Thrones. Season 7. Was the culprit. The trailer for that, about 90% of the trailer footage was from the last 2 episodes. And it was like, especially show of that scale. And I didn't watch that trailer super closely. Like, I definitely saw it a couple times, but just kind of like, you know, I watched it when it came out, and then people are like, oh, have you seen this? Have you seen this? You kind of watch it together and you go, yeah. But then when there's stuff like, oh, you know, Jamie might die as he rides the dragon, I'm like, no, because I've seen the trailer and I know there's footage that we haven't seen yet. Not even like, oh, it could be a different shot. It's like, no, it's just straight up not. And then the other end of the spectrum, like Rogue One, the trailer for that, I think there's something like 60-70% of the trailer isn't in the movie. And it's not even just shots that are missing, it's entire sequences. So then they're running on the beach with the data tape. Not there. That famous promotional poster of the stormtroopers in the water as they're walking through. Not in the film. Her and the TIE fighter coming up in the giant tower. Not in the film. And you're like, what happened? And then of course you find out that film had huge writing issues and was basically entirely rewritten.
Oh man, that's bad though. Because then you're obviously advertising something that you're not selling, which could cause a lot of problems.
Yeah, especially everyone kind of wanted that.
No, especially
all of a sudden these are the stormtroopers in battle, and we just didn't really.
Especially if you're hooking them and you're like, this is what you're gonna be getting, and everyone's like, yeah, this is absolutely what I want to see, and I'm so on board. And then they go into the cinema and they're like, it's not there.
It's not that. Yeah, you've advertised the wrong thing.
Then even though the film might be good, the disappointment of being I don't know, sold something falsely.
Well, actually, have you seen No Country for Old Men?
No, I have not.
Oh, okay. Right. Well, so a lot of people talk about how that film has no final battle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's an old film, so light spoilers. But okay, the protagonist dies off camera.
Mm-hmm.
He's found, and he's like a dead body. And for a lot of people, that was like a huge shock because it was sold as this kind of modern day western, and it was building up to this huge shootout. And I watched that film with very little context other than it's a good movie and you should watch it. And I was like, okay, cool, watch it. And I was like, yeah, it's a good movie. I'm glad I watched it. But if you read online, there's so much like, oh, it just wasn't what I expected, and I was hoping for this big thing with Anton Chigurh, who's the main villain of the film, and it just never comes. And without that preconceived, like if you watch the trailer, it's gearing up for a big shootout.
Is it?
And you're like,
do they show that? No, they don't.
There's no shootout there, but like, you know, when it's just like building up, and it's like a western, and it's like, oh, you know, the heist or whatever, and there's a chase, and it's gonna come down to this big show off. It just doesn't. And I think without that preconceived thing, because this is the thing, trailers are always made by different people. Yeah. You know, the trailer people's job is to get people in the seats, and the filmmaker's job is to make a good movie.
Yeah. Obviously, yeah, they get the footage and they're like, oh yeah, and this would definitely piece together well to make something look interesting. I don't know. I would like, that's definitely something I would definitely want to work very closely with people that make the trailer, because that is something that still sells your product.
Yeah. Or my favorite example of this actually is Hateful Eight. Now, I love Hateful Eight, for sure, right?
Yeah.
I think it's really good. I actually found out yesterday the rumored 6-hour version of Hateful Eight was actually released a year ago on Netflix in America. It's nowhere to be found in the UK.
Classic.
So I might find a way to watch that.
We're just gonna... Yeah.
Fly to America and install Netflix. That seems
this is the place to be right now.
But that's annoying because I really like that film. I like how it's a slow burn. It feels very well contained, and you get to know every single character, and every single one could be a thing. The trailer 2 for that, if you watch it on YouTube, is brilliant. I love that trailer. It's sharp. It's punchy. It's full of action.
It's so funny though, because they also they have different lines that cut together to form new lines,
and they fit so well.
Those quotes are never in the film because they're just like rearranged.
But they are. They're just talking in different. Like they've taken a sentence from the first hour and then a reply from 2.5, and they're just going, "Yep, that works."
That works.
And
it's hilarious.
But I really like trailer 2, and it's advertising a film that I want to be made. But if you watch that and watch Hateful Eight, you're not going to like the film.
No.
And the reviews for that film weren't particularly great, and I think that's why. Because it's a slow burn.
Yeah.
And it's a really, really good slow burn.
I don't know, but you still get the same feeling. Like that trailer is definitely one where it's like really fast and intense and stuff. You still get that in the film, but not in like an action. It definitely takes a long time for you to get there.
I think knowing Tarantino as a director and seeing Django, watching that trailer, and then the film, I think you're going to be disappointed if that's your conception.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, how did we get here?
I don't know. Our film trailers.
We'll make a trailer.
No, I don't think we said we'll make a trailer. Gosh, we'll have to watch this back. Oh, that's brilliant.
This is why we should write scripts.
No, I think it's because of opening weekends and release dates.
Game of Thrones.
James Bond.
I was going to watch James Bond.
You were going to?
The trailer. I caught the trailer.
Yes.
Well, we got it. We figured it out. We figured this out. No, yeah, Game of Thrones, because it's set up and, like, is this character going to die now and then? And you just see it and you go, no, they're not. I've seen this before. But then James Bond, they built up to this huge media release. I was convinced to go and see it. I was like, okay, I'll see Daniel Craig out. I've seen most of his films in the cinema.
Yeah.
Most of the James Bond film. I'm not like a huge Daniel Craig fan, right? Like, I've seen all of Daniel Craig's films. But yeah, then of course that film got delayed massively because of COVID, and I was like, that must suck to the marketing department because they built up to this huge thing to convince people to go, and then all of a sudden, nothing. I don't know. It's pretty tough. That's a long delay as well.
It was a long delay.
End of the year.
No, they definitely have to. I assume they'll start a second campaign.
I guess so.
But it also sucks because they know exactly a lot of films have been postponed, and probably they're all moved into somewhat the same same time period, and that just sucks. You don't want to be up against big films like that. Yeah.
I know, like, some video games. There's Cyberpunk 2077 has come out. Is coming out this year, October, November. Which is definitely like the biggest game of the year. They definitely undeniably
postponed that as well.
But that got delayed before COVID though.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's nothing else coming out that month. As soon as that got delayed, so that was meant to come out in March. They delayed it to November, and everything else moved out of its way, which I think is incredible. I mean,
yes.
Because it's like is it Wonder Woman? Didn't do very well, but that came out. Or Deadpool. I think it was Wonder Woman and Deadpool 2. Came out pretty much the same time as Endgame.
Yeah, that's not smart.
Or maybe it was Infinity War. It was one of the two.
Yeah.
I think it was Infinity War. And neither of them did particularly well. Definitely not. Like, Deadpool 2 didn't do as well as Deadpool 1 or expected, and Wonder Woman did fine. And it was like, what did you expect? Maybe it was Aquaman. But it was one of the DC films, and you're like, why would you go up in the same week as this 20-film franchise?
Yeah. Honestly,
like, just avoid it.
But then again, it's so hard to time that right, because obviously they're not all sitting in the same room being like, okay, let's all plan out our cinema
but they're publicly released so early.
Yeah.
I feel like you just go, okay, let's give it 3 weeks.
Yeah. No, that's exactly right. The first weekend is going to be massive. The second weekend is still going to be very big. Third weekend, it's going to die off.
People are probably
that's when we want to. But even then, I don't think a lot of people go to the cinemas more than twice a month. Like, that's already a lot.
That's a lot.
I think it's more of a maybe twice a quarter. So like a total of.
From what I know.
I probably won't go more than 4 times a year actually to actually go see a film in cinemas.
I think that, or people see everything, and then you don't really need to worry.
Yeah.
So
I totally missed that in Berlin. When I lived in Berlin, I had like a multi-card, whatever, so I just paid something to get 5 viewings.
Oh,
and then if it was 3D, I would just have to pay.
5 viewings a month or a year?
It's not restricted on time. I think it was like I could just go whenever.
Oh, okay, so like top it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was a lot cheaper. I think it was altogether like €9 per viewing, and then not
in Germany.
No.
Okay.
No, if you had like a standard viewing would be like €12.
Whoa.
And then maybe even 14 if it was like 3D and a Marvel film, yeah.
See, I think usually here, like, if you don't get popcorn, it's like, what, £6.50, £7 student?
Oh, yeah. No, that wasn't a student. That was...
Adult?
Yeah.
Child. Why are you paying for adult prices?
Was it adult price? Yeah, I think it's
kids,
like I think
it's like a $5.
No, I think it's like as soon as you're 16 or above, you're not getting the child price anymore. No, students here, especially in Glasgow, you can get a $5. Yeah. If you go to the right cinema at the right time.
Oh, I went to one of the cinemas. Got a ticket with some friends. Mm-hmm. They went ahead of me. Mm-hmm. I was obviously with them. They charged me the adult price. I was like, "All right, sorry." I kind of presumed that. That there's 4 of us in a group, right? And they're like, "Oh, sorry, we don't."
3 of us are adult.
No, we don't students. Do backseats or whatever. And I was like, "But I've got my student ID here. Got my ticket. Just make it." It was like £5 cheaper. It was twice the price for an adult and student ticket. And I was like, "This is ridiculous." Sorry, no, you need to clarify beforehand. I was like, it's fairly obvious. And there's nothing. There's nowhere that they do student prices. They only had kid, adult, and concession, which is like old people. And I was like, that's cool. I'll just never come back here. Yeah. Like, if that's what you're going to do, there's 3 other cinemas in Glasgow that are well within walking distance.
It's no hassle for them to probably just take that back and be like, sorry, we're going to redo the whole process.
Annoyingly, I did subsequently go back to see Jojo Rabbit. But it was the only place showing it, so whatever.
But never again.
It was years later, to be fair. Like 3 years later.
Fair enough.
But like, I was like, I'm not impressed.
Yeah. No, but I think if cinemas... Like, I haven't really checked. I'm sure Cineworld here does that.
Cineworld's really cheap here.
But then just get a card, and then it's so much easier because you can just go, because you've already paid to see films. There's a much bigger incentive to just go. Yeah. We're a bit far away, though.
We're a little far. And also, I think, like, there's not many films, I think, justify that.
Big screen anymore? You think?
Yeah, I don't know. See, I really enjoy the cinema, but I have fallen into a trap of only seeing kind of like event films. Because it's so expensive. Like, even at a $5.
Yeah.
Right? There's not many films that come out that I'm like, I need to see that on release. Not, because with streaming culture now.
Yeah, I think the problem isn't that it's very expensive, but there are so many alternatives that are cheaper now. And that's a problem, because like I had no issue whatsoever paying that money when streaming platforms weren't a thing yet. But now just with that, it's so much easier to obviously pay less and still get a similar experience. I like, for me, the big difference between seeing something at home and seeing something in the cinema isn't usually the big screen, but it's the sound.
Like I said, but you can buy a sound system.
Yeah, because that's spenny though.
Not more than a TV.
I'd have to... No, not more than a TV, but if I want to have the sound experience, that equates to like going to the cinema like 80 times.
Oh, in terms of overall cost, but I think the difference is like, for me anyway, so we do have quite a nice TV. Nothing ridiculous, but like nice enough that I think I don't know any student with better.
No.
Well, it's definitely how we spend our money, and thank God we did, because quarantine's been lovely. But like, okay, yeah, you can see Endgame as many times as you want in the cinema, but end of the day, when that experience is over, like after a month or whatever, actually that's quite a while in cinema, but after 2 months, right, and you're going to pay £5-10 per viewing, you're then, the only experience you can have with it is at home. And if it is a really good film, you do want to see it again. So for me, it's worth it for really good films to be able to watch them with that as close to a cinema experience as possible whenever I want. Because that's the thing, like, there's not many films. Like, if I want, like, we bought The Gentleman for our Guy Ritchie thing.
Yeah.
That was what, £12 for the HD one.
Yeah.
Which is about equivalent to if you go to the cinema with popcorn. And you can pick up popcorn for £1.
Especially if you're going with 2 people, that's...
Yeah, of course, because every time you go to the cinema it doubles, so £24. Whereas we can buy 2 bags of popcorn for £2. Get some Coke for 50p. And, you know, your cinema experience is...
That's so cheap.
As close to...
Damn.
But yeah, so like that's the thing. I'm like, I bought that film, I own it forever. Whenever I want to watch it in the future, I can. And if I wait another 2-3 months, it'd probably be on a streaming platform for free anyway. So like, I can do that or pay £12 to see it once and never be able to watch it again. But it's a slightly better viewing experience. And I did see that film in the cinema, and I was happy to pay for it again. But there's a lot of films that I kind of watch and go, yeah, God, I saw it, don't want to watch it again.
Yeah.
And to pay that money for that one experience is... I
don't know, because like I don't ever think of like I'll go to the cinema, and if I like it, I'll go see that film again in cinemas.
I see most.
I don't.
I see a lot of films twice in cinema.
I don't do that, and that's why I never have like, oh, this is actually going to be very expensive. If I do go and see it, and I will want to see it again, then I'm happy.
Films more than once.
Yeah. But I don't need that. I guess that I'm like, okay, if I really enjoyed it, then I'm gonna get the DVD and watch it at home.
Yeah. No, interesting. But I think I'd rather spend, like, 'cause if you went to see every film in the cinema, that's the thing. That's getting expensive very quickly.
Yeah.
Even if you like smuggle your own food in, but
actually, isn't it that you can get like a day's pass?
So there's Cineworld for us do like the unlimited, or you can get a day pass that lets you see as much as you want in a day. That's insane.
I know people who've seen like 5 films consecutively.
That's
but
bad.
Also like they definitely went through the pain of like scheduling it out, so they know exactly what film starts right after the one they've just finished.
No, but here you can get like the unlimited pass though, which I think is like 40-50 quid a month. And you can see as many films as you want. You can pay for the slightly more expensive one, lets you see it in 3D. But let's be honest, 3D's kind of dead now.
Yeah.
Then I think you can pay slightly extra if they do like marathon viewings. So like for Star Wars, they did 7, 8, 9 when 9 came out.
I think I would get the base rate and then
top up if you needed it. Yeah.
But
even so, if you think about that, that's like 500 quid a year, 600 quid a year.
Yeah.
And then the kind of financial decision to be like, I'm just going to spend out, get £1,000 OLED TV and an £800 speaker system. Within 2-3 years, you've kind of recovered that. Obviously, you've got the plus cost of Netflix Prime and stuff.
Yeah.
But that, like...
And, like, within 3 years, TV... you might want new stuff, so you do keep spending that as well.
Really, though? 3 years?
I don't know.
I don't think tech moves that fast.
Maybe not TV and speaker tech. That's
true. Like speaker tech, if you have a really good surround sound system, like 5.1 surround sound from 10 years ago, you're still set.
It still is surround sound.
And I think if you overestimate like the size and spec of TV you get, so if you go for like a 75 or 80-inch OLED TV, which will be expensive, but you're set for the future because TVs get bigger so slowly.
Yeah, first of all, bigger, and then anything that's above 4K is still kind of like...
You can't get... Well, 8K is like $7,000.
Why would you? Yeah.
Yeah, but like, there's not that many 8K cameras, and there's not many filmmakers that both film and like render stuff in 8K. Yeah. Usually they'll downscale it. So like 8K footage isn't going to be popular for a very long time. So you're fine with 4K.
Absolutely.
And OLED technology is not dying anytime soon. It's by far the best.
I don't know though, because like even if you have 5-point surround sound, it's not the same as Dolby Atmos. Just saying, because they have a lot more speakers in that cinema than that.
You can buy a Dolby, because they're not Dolby Atmos like studio grade speakers. So like the Dolby Studio.
Yes.
Is horrendously expensive. So the only reason I know this is because Deadmau5, the musician, there are 2 Dolby studios in Canada. One of them is owned by Dolby, and the other one's in Deadmau5's basement. But like obviously all the cinemas have Dolby surround sound. They're still not as teched up, so it's not that expensive if you want to go for it. Like it's still a couple grand, but it's not ludicrously expensive if you want to deck out.
What do you mean though? With
you could get a full circle of speakers. So like 9.
Yeah, I think it's more though.
I don't know how many.
Because you have, I think in Dolby Atmos at least you have 5 at the top front, then I think 3, 2 more on each side just going down. And then you have the entire ceiling covered in a grid of speakers and some from the back. It's a lot of speakers.
I'm not convinced that.
But that's like Atmos.
That much of a difference, though.
I guess it doesn't make that much of a difference. But it's an experience that you would not get anywhere else. So this is actually another thing, though. Cinemas, the volume's usually too loud. Especially if you're not sitting dead center. So that's like small thing. You can't pause, and sometimes long films you need to pee, right? And that's kind of off topic, but it is a thing, right? I'm like, sometimes I do want to lower the volume or tinker with things, get more popcorn, pause. And I don't think that like upper echelon, because this is the thing, most films aren't made with sound behind them. Yeah. Like I think there's a couple films I've seen that have been mixed, I would say badly. Yeah. So you're in the film and like it's like a side-by-side conversation like this, but the audio is coming like all the way from over here and all the way from over here, and I'm like, that's just not right. Yeah, like, but that's a mistake. Like that's but that mistake isn't gonna be noticeable with even a good speaker system. It's only gonna be noticeable if you have a room of speakers where you're like, where is the sound coming from? I think that's also totally the difference between a film that I would feel strongly about having, like, I would definitely want to see that in cinema. You're not going to know until you see it. Yeah, obviously. Yeah, I don't know, for me... But you're also never going to know if you're never going to watch it in cinemas. So... Exactly. Yeah, so but that's very complacent. That's like, oh, I'm going to miss out on any awesome experience because I'm too afraid to chance it. I don't think that's true. Because I think you can still make your home viewing experience awesome. Yeah, sure. And I think as well, that's one we're not talking about, you probably want a fairly decent home setup at home anyway, right? Yeah. So I think regardless of how many times you go to the cinema, or for me anyway, like even if I had that Cineworld Day Pass, whatever, so I could see as many films as I want every month, I would still want at least a decent
TV and speaker system at home.
Yeah.
So if you're going to spend that anyway, to be like, okay, I'll spend another $1,000, but just not go to the cinema unless it's like a huge movie.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I would get that pass ever, because I don't think, like, when it comes to stuff like that, I definitely do the math and say, okay, I would have to, if it's 40 quid a month, I would have to go about 5 to 8 times for that to be.
No.
Yeah.
Five times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not 8. 8 is huge. It's not.
Yeah, I mean that's like the fiver that you get at like cheaper.
Cinema. Yeah, like there's like proper cinema.
Yeah.
So it's usually.
But
like
if I have 5 times, I'm definitely getting my money's worth. If I have more than that, say 8 times, I'm like, yes, I'm actually saving money at this point. But that's 8 movies per month. I'm definitely by that point. I'm definitely going to see some movies several times, or I'm going to see the B movie, which I don't want to.
Yeah.
You know, and that's kind of an issue. As like, I don't want to feel like I have to go, because if I don't go, I'm losing money. Then I'm absolutely losing the enjoyment of, getting hyped to go watch a movie in cinemas.
No, it's interesting. Like there's films I've seen. So I saw 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Mm-hmm. I saw that in cinema because there was people in uni that were like, "Oh, do you want to go?" And I was like, "Sure." I thoroughly enjoyed that film, but I think nothing was added by seeing that in cinema. Mm-hmm. Like the film itself is great, mm-hmm. but the cinematography, the music, none of the things that are going to be accentuated by a cinema experience. Mm-hmm.
I'd be interested in seeing stuff like Into Spider-Verse.
That's the thing, you can't. Now you've missed it.
No, but like, yeah.
That's the problem if cinema's like your go-to, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas if you've got, like, I mean, so Into the Spider-Verse isn't a film I would catch in cinema. I didn't catch it because it's a cartoon. And it's only after a period of time where you go, wow, okay, people are talking about this.
No, I definitely wouldn't do it because of that, but it's like having seen it on a small screen, but like really enjoying it, and I think now I can't imagine what the benefit of seeing it in cinemas would be like, and now
because you've missed it.
Yeah.
But if you had a kick-ass home setup.
Yeah, but then I'm like, if I had it,
get a voice break.
No, but it's like, it's still not quite the same. And
but you'll never get that cinema experience.
Especially coming from you, who wants a perfect setup in other respects.
But no, in all respects.
In all respects.
Yeah, of course. The only thing stopping me from getting a full speaker system
I don't
is my
think
neighbors.
There's anything as perfect that you can get at home.
So I'm being realistic here, okay?
Sure.
Because A, we're not going to go to the cinema twice a week.
No.
Right? B, that pass is too expensive to be worth it, and you are going to see a lot of crap films.
Yeah.
And I'm very fussy with what I watch. Mm-hmm. I think that's fair to say. So if I can get close to that perfect cinema setup at home, mm-hmm. I'm able to watch whatever I want, mm-hmm. on repeat if I want to, and if something comes out that, whoops, I missed it in the cinema because it doesn't sound like the type of film I'd enjoy, but is actually incredible, like Into the Spider-Verse, mm-hmm. I can then experience close to that cinema thing, which mm-hmm. there is no other way to do it. And the only other way you catch that is by watching mm-hmm. 10 crap films to catch that one gem. So, like, I actually caught Blade Runner 2049 in the cinema.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad I did, because that film is gorgeous.
Yeah.
But again, if people had, like, not dragged me along to it, I wouldn't have seen it in the cinema. I would have caught it on TV, or probably my laptop back then, because I was still in halls when that came out, and being like, okay, like, it's fine. Mm-hmm. You know, but that film requires the visuals, and I think like stuff like, so you've seen Mad Max Fury Road on a plane.
Yeah.
I did catch that in cinema, and I was like, that's gorgeous. But I can get close to that experience on my TV, mm-hmm. whereas you've seen on a plane. And if you only had, you know, like the TV that we use for this, it's like, okay, like it's fine.
Well, that's already a huge improvement from like a 10-inch.
Oh yeah, for sure. But this is not like, it's nothing special. Like using TV speakers or whatever. Yeah. Whereas if I could shell out a bit of money,
I mean, I'm not saying anything against a good home setup. Like, obviously, if you can do that by all means, because like you're definitely gonna get a much better experience than say watching on your laptop in bed or something.
Of course.
But I definitely think like I personally would still prefer going to the cinema. Obviously, that also comes with you don't know until you know, but I'm more likely, I think I would more happily give films a chance.
Okay.
And be like, okay, maybe I spent money on something that wasn't like highly impressive, but I also trust my judgment, and in I don't know, when I watch a trailer, I'm like, yeah, this is something I do want to see in cinemas, or this is something that seems like it's just a family drama. There's nothing added by big screen or like impressive sound.
No, for sure. I think when you're saying like, I admire a good setup, which I don't know if you can really tell from this, but my setup is very clean.
You're very proud of your setup.
I'm very proud of my setup. This took, like, I drew this out. I don't draw anything.
We can also draw attention to your new
I got a new mouse mat. Look how long it is. It goes all the way.
Just arrived today.
It arrived
new
today.
Mouse mat.
It's 1.20 meters
wide. Long.
40 centimeters deep. It's great.
It is it is wider, so he has more
movement.
Space for your mouse.
I love it. Yeah, that's why my laptop's here, to kind of flatten it out because they come rolled. But no, there's too many variables in a cinema for me. Mm-hmm. So even though like the core movie watching experience is better, undeniably, the rest of it isn't.
Oh wow! So you also, I don't know, cause like obviously there's something about watching a movie with other people that you get in a cinema that you don't get at home, and I assume there could be
well, especially in Britain, like no one talks in the cinema, and if you talk, I'm gonna like that's when war crimes get committed.
Okay.
No, but like if you see like US viewings, everyone's like, woo!
Either that or no talking. But the whole what I don't like is like if it's completely silent but like two people are talking. Then you're like, guys.
See, I sit somewhere in the middle there, because some films I think are added to by a little joke thrown in here or there, or like a little nudge, and you're kind of like,
yeah.
You seen that? You can't do that in the cinema.
Yeah, you can.
No, you can't. Yeah, I get pissed off.
I know, either like if it's like actually reacting to the film, like you're laughing out loud, yes. If you're like shocked and you go like, or something like that, yes.
I remember seeing Spider-Man: Homecoming. And you know the bit where he like goes into the truck and jumps back up, but his like teleporter thing. The presidents of the cinema, when that went up, they were like, I was like, I feel like it was quite predictable. Yeah. Like we did see that one coming.
Yeah,
but like, I don't know. Like
it was when we watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. You had seen it before already, and it was like the very showdown. I was like, yeah, he's definitely gonna go for that flamethrower that we saw an hour ago. I was like, this has been set up real nice.
I'm just sitting there grinning.
I was very proud that I caught that. I actually said it. You I whispered, so it wasn't gonna be like, oh, I knew this was gonna happen in hindsight, but I actually knew.
I did actually.
I actually knew.
No, but it was The Gentleman, which I think was close to the worst. It was gonna be like it was set up to be. So I think the person in front of us was sitting on their phone, and the people behind us were chatting away. Yeah. And I was sitting there, and I was like, "If this," because it was into like the credits. So like, if you've seen the film,
like
which of course you should have,
minutes.
That like bit, the whole intro, the whole credit sequence, everything, chit chat, scrolling Facebook, Instagram, whatever, and I'm sitting there, I'm like,
yeah, you were this close to. I was that.
Yeah, like, we were all like, there's three of us there, and we were all just looking at each other like, "Is this it? Is this when we go to jail?" Like just.
No, I mean,
murder?
Just like stand up and be like, can you please be quiet? You're ruining this.
I just hate it. I get so fed up. I'm like, look, everyone has spent money to be here. You have spent money to be here.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
But this thing. So at home, I can get a comfy couch, which you usually pay a good premium for in a cinema. Like either you go to like Cineworld Plus or Odeon Platinum or whatever, or you go to like an indie cinema that has sofas. Right. You can get tucked up in a blanket. It's all nice and cozy. It's lovely. It's nice. You got whatever food you want, so you don't get judged by getting a nacho or whatever. Or I can eat crisps. I love crisps.
Why would you get judged for getting nachos?
I judge everyone that gets nachos in a cinema.
No way.
Why would you get nachos in a cinema?
Because nachos
they're
sometimes
so crunchy.
Yeah.
Sit in the front.
Oh, irritated. Because you're irritated by the sound?
Yeah.
No, but like if I have nachos, I'm obviously not irritated by the sound.
Of course you're not irritated by the sound. That's a problem.
Yeah.
I don't like it. But this is the thing, right? It makes the experience not perfect.
I don't
know.
know.
What's the point of having a great sound system if in the corner you've got...
That's your opinion of what a perfect cinema experience is.
Oh, so your perfect film is like, wow, the audio. Oh, I've spilled some sauce.
That's very... No. I don't spill salt.
I don't spill salsa.
I'm not sitting in my...
That's how I sit and watch films. You know this.
I do know this. Oh,
that's why I've got to... Can you do this?
Yeah. Oh, Lord.
This is how films should be.
No, but that's why it's like, if your experience is... I don't know, because like obviously there are films that are very silent. I think if I would watch Star Wars Episode 3 with you in a cinema, expecting that, and then just out of the blue you're like, Anakin, you're breaking my heart. I'd be like, what is going on? You know, I'd also be like, shut up.
Do that in a cinema.
Yeah.
Because it's the first time you've seen it.
Yeah.
But this thing, you can have mates over in your perfect experience and relive as close to that experience as you can get, and you can decide, do you want to talk over the whole film, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to crack jokes midway through? Do you want to quote along with the movie, or do you want to sit in silence? You can sit on your phone if you so desire.
I would never.
You've got a headache, right, and you're watching 10-hour marathon, you can just turn the lights on a little bit.
Yeah, so just don't do those in cinemas.
Don't do what in cinemas?
Marathons.
No, but I like a marathon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, but then it's just like, don't do that.
No, but that's one of the enjoyable things about movie watching.
Mm-hmm.
I like watching as many as I can. Don't go, you get that full immersed experience.
Yikes.
But you just can't do that in cinema. I think that's the stuff around there. You want to pee, there's this kind of gross place that you have to enter with weird people. I don't know. Cinema toilets are never pleasant.
Okay.
I don't know, they're always just a bit grimy. I don't think they get cleaned very often.
I mean, they're not the same as like your home.
My bathroom is very nice. Or like, you know, you're missing the movies. You can't pause. It's that stuff. The popcorn being overpriced. You have to smuggle food in like a weirdo.
I don't know, if you're an experienced cinephile, then you probably know at what point in the film
but
you
can
still sneak out and
movie, and you paid a good amount of money to see that film.
That is true. I absolutely agree.
Yeah, for me, so like I totally agree. The full like the movie watching, just that in terms of the screen and the sound is better in the cinema. But I think everything else is better at home, and that's
okay
for me. If I was like, if you charged me $3,000 and said you can go to the cinema for the rest of your life, or you can buy a setup that's relevant now. I would choose the setup.
Okay. I think the solution for me is to just get really, really wealthy, so I can join some kind of.
Both.
Yes. Well, first of all, I can get a really nice setup for my home, but then I can also join some club where they have like houses in Soho houses, for example, in various cities all across the world, and they have like tiny.
Shows how rich you are. I've never even heard of Soho houses.
Yeah, I'm not rich. I'm not rich at all.
He says with 4 Soho houses, whatever that is.
I have been to one, but that was for like a pre-premiere of the Vicky film. But they had like a little cinema in one of these houses for like, I think they could fit maybe 40 people in there.
Okay.
So or 40, 50 people. Yeah, but if you're like you're just gonna go there and have a viewing all by yourself or with your mates, then that'd be pretty sick.
40, that's not a cinema anymore.
It's much bigger than you could get in your own house though.
Is it? Mm-hmm. If you're that wealthy, I think you can afford a bigger house.
Maybe.
I think if that's what you want to do. Like anyone that's got a swimming pool in their house but doesn't have a cinema room has misspent their money.
I would definitely not get a swimming pool in
I wouldn't
house.
Do you know how hard they are to clean and keep warm?
Yeah.
Like, you've got to be rich enough that thing can be heated constantly. So when you're at 2 a.m, like, I'm going to go for a swim.
I would much rather get a house by a lake than get a swimming pool.
Okay, you've obviously never swam in the Scottish loch. They're cold and horrible.
Yeah.
Picturesque.
Honestly, but then that's your fault if you're like, oh, I'll get a house by a lake, and then you're like, yes, and in Scotland.
Yeah, because there's only one lake.
No, but then it's like that's obviously also a bit of your fault.
Yeah,
location.
Yeah, definitely like the south of France next to the wine.
Yeah.
Well, you got to pick up with the language. Italy,
yeah.
Italy, north of
Sicily.
Italy.
You can go swim in the Mediterranean.
Sharks.
What?
There's a couple sharks.
No.
A bit sharky.
No.
Oh, sharky.
No. Yeah. No, I'm glad we talked about our preferences in cinema going
for like half an hour.
Yeah, that's what we're here for. And also something we wanted to talk about because
well, hang on before we get there.
Okay.
I think it is safe to acknowledge that I think most people do tend towards, maybe not to the extreme financial cost, but most people tend to be, under my standpoint, of not going to the cinema right now.
Yeah.
Because the cinema is dying as a trend. Yeah. There's way less money in film. Or the money that is going to cinema is going into less and less movies. Mm-hmm. So, like, say there's, I don't know, £5 billion or dollars that films make every year from the cinema viewings. That's going to less and less movies.
Yes.
Because of, like, event films. Like, I went to see Endgame and Star Wars last year.
But that end up making them way more money.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think that is because of these huge trailer pushes and the justification to spend that money.
Just franchises like the Marvel and the MCU.
But again, like, if people have a set amount of money that they're going to spend, they're more likely to spend it on these huge event films that are benefited by going to the cinema than risks that might not pay off. Like seeing 3 Billboards where you kind of go, it's a good film.
Yeah.
So I think it's interesting, and I wonder how this situation of quarantine stuff is going to adapt. I think the turning point will be seeing how Tenet, which is Christopher Nolan's new film, performs. Because that's the first film coming out since quarantine. And I think if it doesn't do well, there's going to be more digital releases.
I think it has a good chance, though, if it is the first one, because people will just want to go.
I don't know.
And then it's a Christopher...
Because people are still cautious.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not like Dunkirk did incredibly well. Like, it did fine.
I don't know. I wasn't very convinced by...
The trailer?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, cool, fine, whatever.
It seemed like another war film that I had already seen.
Oh, Dunkirk.
Yeah.
Oh, Dunkirk's really good.
Yeah, no,
I thought you meant Tenet. Sorry. I saw Dunkirk in cinema. That was good. A good movie to see in the cinema. No, I wasn't really convinced by Tenet. I don't think I'm going to see it in the cinema. I'm happy to wait.
Seen anything.
We watched the trailer together.
Did we?
Yeah, it's back in time. Time manipulation.
Oh, yes, time manipulation.
With Robert Pattinson.
True.
Like, it was fine.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I'm not going to rush to the cinema. I also don't really want to get coronavirus. So...
No, who does?
I'm not going to rush to a public place anytime soon.
When is that coming out? In a month?
I don't know. I will use
not that soon.
2020. Thank you. 17th July, a month.
Yeah.
Month's time. Yeah. But it's something we have watched. I think that's what you were going to talk about. We just watched the first 2 episodes of Alex Rider.
Alex Rider on Amazon Prime. If you don't know what that is, that it used to be a book series by Anthony Horowitz, then made into a film.
2006.
2006. Yeah, that's a long time ago. Yeah. With
Ewan McGregor and the main Damian Lewis, the guy from Band of Brothers as well.
And some other people that you would probably know, but I just don't know the names.
Okay. Ewan McGregor.
This is so great. It's like
Davy Jones is in it, whatever his name is.
Yeah, exactly. Davy Jones is in it, or if he's also in Love Actually. He's also I Feel It in My Fingers.
That doesn't help with the name, though, does it?
No, but it's like that's how I remember stuff. Like I remember faces and I remember scenarios, but just not names. Yeah, no, but that was a kind of not so good, not so...
The movie's a bit...
well received. But I totally understand it. Because even now, seeing the TV show...
I really enjoyed the film as a kid.
Did you? Yeah, but that's also a thing, like, it's very specific. It's a very specific target audience.
I think this TV show is targeting a slightly older audience than the movie was. But still not old enough to cover us.
Honestly, I think it is between 12 and 15. Yeah, like there's right. I don't think a whole lot older or younger is gonna enjoy this kind of stuff.
It's too slow for kids. Like nothing has happened.
or too scary. Like people do get shot, but it's like they're shot off screen, so it's like still okay for a younger audience. I assume that's what they're doing.
I think it's that early teen, but as soon as you hit like 16, 17, you're gonna be like, where?
It's a bit ridiculous.
I want to see his head blow up.
Yeah.
And then you get to our age, and it's like, well, I really want to see it. No, okay. But there's a bit where like he gets tortured in the first episode, second episode. I don't even know. But like tortured, he has to listen to loud music, and then they spray water at him from sprinklers. It's not even like a hose or something. I don't know. And it's like, oh, we shouldn't be torturing this boy. And you're like, I don't really think he's being tortured.
Yeah.
Like he's just listening to heavy metal. It's really not that bad.
Yeah.
I was just
like, oh, that's my favorite band.
Yeah, like I was sitting there, I was like, please can someone like pull a fingernail off him or something. Like just something to be a little threatening, but they never did.
Yeah. Like even if you don't want to show it because of your audience, like just make it a bit more real.
Yeah, I was disappointed. The plot's really slow as well. Like, okay, I haven't watched that film since I was an early teen, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe definitely a kid. I watched when it came out, so I would have been 7, 8.
Yeah.
But like there was bits I remember being like, oh, this was in the film, and it was much faster paced.
Mm-hmm,
I thoroughly
I guess
enjoyed it.
that is the point of a TV show, that you can take your time.
I know, but we watched the length of a movie,
yes,
of TV show, and he's not even at the training camp yet.
Yes.
And it's like, I think the film is shorter.
Yeah.
That it's definitely not a long movie, but like, so like they set up the dad a ton, and like build him up, and then he dies. The uncle, sorry, yeah. But like
the father figure.
He dies, but we've not spent enough time with him to care. We just wasted time essentially. So like, you either spend more time with him alive, and then you care when he dies, or you spend less time and you're not wasting time. But it's in that annoying middle ground of. It also doesn't help that most people have seen the film or read the books, and you know he's dying soon. So you're sitting there like, when is it coming?
True, that's true.
So you don't want to get attached to the character. And I think the makers of the TV show should know that.
They should know that.
So I think, again, going back to my favorite TV show, Black Sails.
Yes.
Right? If you read Treasure Island, you know that Captain Flint isn't in it.
In it.
Right? Mm-hmm. He's the captain that was mutinied and attacked by Long John Silver, and Long John Silver is in Treasure Island. Mm-hmm. So you know that Captain Flint ain't sticking around. But they spend 4 seasons making you fall in love with this character, or to snatch him away from you, obviously. But he's so long that you forget that that's happening, so there is that emotional investment there.
Whereas, and it's also like he does get away several times, so it's like, oh, maybe he is gonna get. Maybe he's still gonna make this in some kind of way, you know? Yeah.
But no, so I think taking that time, like, is definitely something this show could have done.
Yeah.
But they didn't. I'm not convinced. I'm not sure.
I don't think that would have been a smart idea, though.
What?
To build up.
I don't think it would have been either, but it's something they could have done.
Ridiculous.
Like, we spent a good chunk of the episodes with him so far.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it could have been like an entire episode of just like establishing the situation a bit more, so we actually see him, Alex, in school a bit more with his friends. Blah blah blah. We establish that he's kind of like a teenager, but not your usual teenager because he has a specific set of skills.
He does a little bit of light parkour, and you're like, wow,
that was so not impressive. I gotta say that was like, you get these shots like and I don't know, intense action music, but also the music cues are at the very wrong. It's like he climbs up the side of this building onto the roof, then it cuts, the music cue hits, and what is he doing? He's just running on the roof. And you're like, no, the cool part was him climbing up the side of a building, not him running once he's up. It's like, no. So there are definitely some mistakes there that, like, mistakes, I don't know. They're just like...
They're mistakes.
They're mistakes. And also, I don't know, it's again, so many points already where I'm like, no, that's just, I wouldn't... That's dumb. Like, the organization really bullying him into joining.
Yeah, the Secret Service.
There are several moments where they actually force him.
Yeah, they're straight up forcing this child into work. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, we'll blackmail the only close to family member you have left.
Yeah.
And
your best friend.
And your best mate. or you work for us. Oh, thanks for working with us, Alex. That's so kind of you.
Like, I would just not.
Yeah, I'm a fan. And even things like, so the uncle gets taken out, properly executed style. Very impressive that they have. So there's 2 shots to the body, 1 to the head, which is...
Not actually.
Well, it's what it's implied it is, which is if you actually want to assassinate someone, the way you do it.
Yeah.
No, don't ask why I know that. You do see, of course, a close-up of the uncle later on, and his head's fine. Yeah. But he definitely aimed at his face and shot. Yeah. So I'm presuming they just didn't show that bullet. They
should just not show that later shot of his face.
Yeah. But then the partner who he's with, who's actually an undercover agent, gets shown the arm to kind of flesh up the story.
Cover it up.
But there's no way that someone's getting shot 3 times perfectly, close range execution, and the other guy gets off with a bullet into the arm and be like, he's dirty. Yeah. He's definitely in cahoots. Like, there's no way.
Especially if it's like a highly trained agent. Yeah. Like secret organization, governmental agent. He's probably not going to be like, oh yes, I got shot in the arm, so I'm going to hide for the rest of the time while my friend gets
it's like, executed the friend, so I ran away and took a tag in the arm as I ran.
Yeah, there's no...
And they just didn't hunt me down. I don't know.
Slight doubts.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to continue with this show. I'm not sold. I'm not wanting to watch 6 hours of mediocre TV. There's better things to watch.
I don't know. It's I definitely, it makes me question what I liked about the books, because I definitely read the first 3.
Okay, nice. I haven't read any of them.
But yeah, no, but it's the kind of thing where like, okay, did younger Jonas just fall for this kind of like stuff? I
don't know. See, that's the thing, 'cause I like the film as a kid because I guess I associate with the character in some way. But like, he was cool, and he was something that you wanted to be, and it was a kid's film. Yeah. And it was like, that's cool, and you got gadgets, and you got to play around and whatever. But like, it's just not even being there. It doesn't even take me back to like my childhood self, because he's not done anything. He's like, oh, he survives torture, and he climbs up the side of a building. I can climb up the side of my flat if I really want. I don't.
I want to see that.
No, but there's nothing that he's done that I'm like, wow, I wish I could be that kid.
That is true.
He's so cool.
No, the problem is he hasn't done anything, not within the first episode, but within the first 2 episodes. And, I don't know.
That's a quarter. We're 25% away for... Yeah. He's not done anything.
That's a very slow build.
So yeah, I'm not sure I'm gonna... And even like the bits where they try, so like he gets cornered by an agent, and he's like, I know Krav Maga. And you're like... Oh, not sure that's what I'd say. Like, it's not cool. He's not someone that you want to be, and he's not even like, oh, this is my younger self. There's nothing there for me.
That's true. He seems very...
He's a dork.
I was gonna say he seems very vanilla in terms of like, he's just no clear character. Like, he's not the weird guy who has like special talent. He's not the cool guy who's much more than just the jock.
But he's not even like slightly funny either. Like, he's
I mean, his best friend is arguably the funny one, but then also not really funny.
I don't think it's written for our generation's humor.
No, but then even not even for younger people. Like, I don't see how that any of that, like, it's not even in a sense of humor that you would find online.
Oh, I don't know. You spend more time watching online videos than me.
No, but you spend way more time on Reddit, and you still don't.
Yeah, but Reddit's quite a mature audience.
A mature audience. Sure.
Depends where you go.
Sure.
I would be really interested to know the average Reddit user, because I don't think there's actually that many kids on it.
I just think it's a classic problem of adults writing
for
adolescent characters.
Dialogue. The dialogue doesn't feel natural. Like, every now and then, this is the thing, there's like a 3, so like, someone says something back, that's fine, and then like the final response, you're like, I don't know, that's what I'd say. It's like the funny guy will see something that's actually quite funny, and the response will be fine, and then he'll come back with utter trash, and you're like, wait.
Yeah.
You're almost there.
Yeah.
But it's just enough that you can never really get invested in these characters. It's a problem.
It's a problem.
I don't think I'm going to continue with the show.
What I'm thinking is like, I can feel like the 3rd episode is going to be the one that like starts building the actual action. But if it's 3 out of 8, if it takes 3 out of 8 episodes to get there,
it's a long time. And I don't think the action's gonna be anything to write home about.
You definitely don't want it. That's again, if you think about it in like a 3 act structure, you don't want to spend that much time at the beginning, because then you cut the action packed, the intense middle section building up to the climax of the story. You just cut that real short.
I also think in terms of what TV shows can do that films can't is a more complex plot. And it's not. It's like they've just taken the exact same plot of the film so far and just gone whoop.
Yeah.
So we're at the 20, 30 minute point of the film and we're an hour and a half in.
I would definitely...
We've seen nothing that's not in that movie.
I would want to see way more characters. Like, they start off with this other kid where, like, that's not our main character, but he's...
They look similar.
Somewhat the same age. So it's like, we definitely want to know who he is and what he does.
We've seen nothing of him again.
I think that could have been really interesting.
Yep. No, it's... Yeah, I think another show we watched was Hannah, where we got a similar length in 2-3 episodes.
Yeah.
And it was just, it didn't do anything again. Like, we stopped. I don't know if you ever finished it. No. But, like...
It was the same thing, though. It's a film, and the film is perfectly fine. Like, it's a good film.
But they take the exact same plot and just lengthen it out for no reason. I think that's, the problem that TV shows that adapt to this kind of stuff have. They're not meant to be TV shows.
Exactly.
I think the way I would have done this, if it was me, was to do, like, I don't know how many books there are, 6, 7. But make it like a mini-series, so make each episode like an hour. Have the first one be the setup. So this whole training camp, his dad dying, all that stuff, be like, who is Alex Rider? The prologue.
Yes.
Boom. You've got him set. He's got a set of skills, whatever.
Yeah.
And then have the other 6 episodes be an hour apiece, and then being individual missions.
Each mission. Yeah.
That'd be the way I'd do it.
Yeah.
So okay, it's less tight and contained, but the show's not tight at the moment at all.
And I think each episode right now is the same length, and that's also a bit of a pointer that they're just trying to fill these time slots rather than writing as much or as little as is needed. And so I would definitely go like, make some episodes longer, but also please cut some of them short. If it's just half an hour, then don't give us 45 minutes, because that's 15 minutes. That's 50% added on top that we absolutely don't need.
Don't need at all. That's a shame.
It is.
Oh, we'll find something else to watch. That's fine.
We definitely do. At some point.
I think.
That's kind of
as the second episode is our last thing, this will be the end of our podcast.
End of this episode.
Wow. If you've got anything else to recommend for us to watch, let us know. We're slowly plotting for Clone Wars, but we'll get there. Yeah. I will see you tomorrow. Bye!